obviously going to end with a transfer because he was such a prolific striker, being the club's all-time leading goal scorer. And there was some interest from Charlton and other clubs which didn't quite materialise, and he ended up going, I think, to Gloucester City, which was a very strange move, but they were the only club prepared to pay anything like decent money for him, and I think he went for about £17,000 or something. But soon after going to Gloucester, he had an accident and lost the sight in one eye, and was never quite the same player again. He did come back for another spell at Ebbsfleet, scored another bunch of goals, and, you know, just cemented his place in the Fleet's folklore. And, you know, he pops up at Stonebridge Road every now and again. It's a wonderful reception he always gets. He's always cheerful, always pleased to see the fans. And he really would be one of the first names that I would put down, you know, when we open the Ebbsfleet, Gravesend and Northfleet Hall of Fame. A real hero of mine.
Wow, and when did he play?
Well, this would have been in the 80s, I guess. Well, time, you know, when you get to my age, time blurs.
I know the feeling.
You know, he was around with players like Simon Allathorne and Peter Cotterill, Gary Aldous, Lee Turner. You know, it was a great era. And you know, it's one of those teams, they were all characters. You know, when we say characters, they were people that, you know, if you bumped into them in the bar after a game or something, you know, they'd always have a laugh with you and always have time for you. You know, they were close to the fans, and you know, it was a great time. You know, even though for some reason the club weren't particularly successful, we weren't winning things or getting promotion, but we were close. But we were playing great football, and it was exciting. And you never knew what was going to happen. Well, the only thing you did know was the Portway was going to turn up and get a goal. And there was one guy that used to stand alongside me on the halfway line, and he came out with this incredible assessment of Portway one day. He said, you know, the thing about Portway, all he ever does is score goals, as if his work rate on the rest of the field was negligible. But, like, you know, when the guy is knocking goals in for fun, who cares what else he did?
Boy, now that's an interesting problem to have. You know, you just
I wish
scoring
we had
goals.
it now.
Yeah.
Maybe Michael West is going to develop into the New Steve Portway.
Well, yeah, let's hope so. And
I've got to say, he took his goal on Saturday against Bourne Wood with a great deal of aplomb. He had the presence of mind to take a quick free kick. He played it into Tom Phipps, saw West overlapping, ready to receive the ball in the area. He slid it to West. West took it and one touch curled it under the goalkeeper. And I've got to say, Michael West, he showed the ingenuity and the creativity that belies his young age. And, you know, this is a talent emerging.
Yeah, very, very exciting. You know, I want to talk about something we talked about last week when the new signing Howe came in, and you had mentioned that bringing in a new player is a way of motivating the the other players. And one thing I remembered when I first started following the Fleet was that when we get a new signing, you know, they'd be in, and for that week they might score, or they would really be part of the action. And so, to your point, it helps the team out and motivates the other players. I'd forgotten about that, but I would see that, and I thought, boy, that's kind of strange that the play would have an immediate impact. You know,
I think it largely depends on the character. It depends on what role the player has, where he can fit in. I mean, Joe can fit in defence or midfield, so you know he can put a lot of players under pressure, considering their position. But I understand that he'd been training with the Fleet for a number of weeks before Liam actually signed him. So the players know what Joe can do because he's been performing, in training over a number of training sessions. So they will be more than readily aware of what Joe can do in terms of chasing their places in the team.
Mhm. Yeah. Wow. Well, it's all been good news lately, and let's keep it that way. Um, unless there's anything else, we'll talk next week. Um,
Well, let's just hope that whatever happens tomorrow, we do the business, we get the win, we don't need a replay, and that we can then look forward to a place in that first round of the FA Cup. And for me, I wouldn't mind having Gillingham at home, have a bit of a Kent derby. That would suit me. I think Craig Stone would like that as well, being an ex-Gillingham player. And let's just get through tomorrow. I think we're capable of doing it, and I think Liam will remind the guys, you've done it once last week, you can do it again. And if they turn up the way they did last week, I think the Fleet should get the victory.
Right, I agree. And again, we don't know the broadcast. It'll probably be broadcast in the UK.
No, I've got some news there. It's not good. The situation is the FA, they do restrict commentary overseas, so there won't be overseas commentary. And in fact, tomorrow, because there are 4 King clubs in action, and it's usually the away clubs that get the coverage. So Dartford's game is being covered, I believe. Dover's game is being covered. And this week we're just going to be doing reports on the radio because we've got to make way for a real FA Cup giant-killing Cinderella story because Hythe Town from the Kent League, it's the first time a club from the Kent League has got into this position in about 40 years, I think. They're playing Staines from our division, and they're going to get match coverage tomorrow. So, I think it's quite fair that on this occasion the Fleet won't be covered, but good luck to Hythe, and let's hope that Kent has still got 4 clubs in the FA Cup on Saturday evening, and if they've only got one, let's make sure it's Ebbsfleet.
Agreed. All right, I will talk to you then. All right.
Speak to you next week.
Take care.
Bye for now.
Well, thanks again, Charles. Not much to report on the ladies and the youth teams. The ladies, sad to say, lost to Luton Town 4-1 and are out of the SEC, Southeast Combination League Cup. I don't have the match report. I thought the game would have been closer because Luton Town is only 3 points above Ebbsfleet and they're 6th in the league. But until we see the match reports, I can't talk about it. But next up, I can say this. Next up, Sunday versus Old Actonians at Stonebridge Road. The ladies should be back to their winning ways because Old Actonians is below us in the league table. So they should get back on their feet. As for the Ebbsfleet United Reserves, they beat the Great Wakering Rovers on the road. As for the Ebbsfleet United Reserves, they beat the Great Wakering Rovers on the road 3-0. I think we need to get those reserves some first-team action. The Under-18 Youth Academy got a 1-1 tie at Blythe Spartans last Sunday. And in less than 2 weeks, they'll continue the FA Cup run with a game against Brighton and Hove Albion. I still don't know who these guys are, and I'm working on it. I've contacted a few people, and I'm waiting to hear back from them. In the meantime, here are some names. Rooms, Aziz, and Adam Williams. They lead the team with 3 goals each in all competition. Now, one day, I hope to put a face to those names, and they might be playing for the first team. Next match is on Sunday at Sittingbourne in the Kent Counties Youth Cup. Now, the Fleet Academy scored a 4-1 win at Haven and Waterlooville. Yesterday, though, they lost 2-1 at Oxford United. That's all I have for you today, and don't forget those websites. myfootballclub.co.uk, ebbsfleetunited.co.uk. We're on Facebook at facebook.com/myfootballclub, and Twitter on twitter.com/myfootballclub. Till next time, this is your humble narrator signing off. Up the fleet. We're off.
Que se arranca así